I've really gotten into piano. I just love it. Especially Beethoven. I play Beethoven every night on my Discord server. Just like 20 people show up, but I just play through the sonatas over and over. It's just makes me feel incredible. It doesn't matter what happened during the day. I just feel great.
And what is it about Beethoven? I love that I'm acting like this Beethoven guy, but specifically, what is it about his music that's getting you right now?
Oh, I've always loved it since
Right.
I was a teenager, but now I can semi-play it. So that's, it's just, I don't know. He's like, it's just how my brain works. He just gets my attention and he keeps it and takes me to all these different places. And it's such an emotional ride. Put on Mozart and I space out after 5 seconds. Can't get into it.
Right. So, Tim, you mentioned that it's about piano for you. Are you teaching yourself? Do you have a tutor?
No, I don't really. I just play Beethoven, really. I'm not learning how to play. And then I jam, too.
I know, but you're angering me because that's enraging me, how talented you are. I'm sorry. It's just making me mad.
I started in earnest about 6 years ago. So every night I would just start playing. And, at that time, it would take me a week to get through one sonata. And now it's like 2 days. 2 evenings of some 2 hours to get through a sonata.
I'm kind of blown away by that. Yeah. My relationship, I love playing music. I love hacking around on guitar, but it has never been intuitive for me. I don't have that, which is, and I've always really envied people that have that ability to figure it out, hear something, and then it goes through their brain, and then they can make it happen with their hands. I need to figure out what is that shape, and I need to memorize it. And that's how it works for me. And that's why that is not my profession. But I'm really amazed. Like, I'm trying to think of you as a kid, and you're listening to classical music, but you're also, I'm sure, listening to
heavy metal.
And at what point do you say, I need to get my own guitar? Is that pretty early on?
Yeah, it was last day of 8th grade. There was a performance by some other 8th grade boys. They went up and did Mental Health by Quiet Riot in front of the whole school. And these were kids I knew, and they were just regular kids, and yet they were playing these instruments, and it just sounded incredible. It was just magic. I was like, I should be able to do this. And I got a guitar and started a cover band, did a bunch of metal songs, and then moved out to LA with my metal band, and we thought we were going to make it like that, but it didn't pan out. And
so whatever happened to you?
Well, I
never made it in music, and then what happened?
I think
that's how it sounded for a second. Sorry.
Well, getting the job at Tower really helped me.
Yeah.
I got exposed to all different kinds of music, not just the latest cool music, but also going back to the 60s and hearing the Beach Boys and the Beatles, and then talking to other employees there. Some of them have been, they were kind of lifers at Tower Records, and they're just so knowledgeable. And
what year is this now? This is like early 90s?
Yeah, 90, 91.
Yeah.
And I met the Weezer guys through my coworkers there, and we formed the band.
And the band is named, it's a nickname that you had as a kid?
Yeah, that's what my dad called me when I was very young. I asked him, why'd you call me Weezer? And he said it was after the kid in The Little Rascals. There was a character named Weezer.
Oh, yeah.
Was there a Weezer?
Yeah,
there was like a Froggy for a while, and he probably grew too old, and they put in Weezer or something like that. They always needed a weird-sounding kid or something.
Wow.
And so I said, why him? And he said, because he's the cool one.
Oh, that's cool. Same reason I had a band called You Little Shit. Thank you, Dad. We didn't really go anywhere.
He's also my favorite Little Rascal.
Yeah. You're in this awkward position of being an increasingly more and more important part of the Marvel world, but as Agent Jimmy Woo, but you're also in the DC world. And that must be very complicated because you've got I don't know how you can inhabit both worlds without fans attacking you. Do you know what I mean? You're like you're in a blue state, but you're wearing a MAGA hat. You know what I mean?
You've
got good environmental policy, but you don't believe in getting vaccinated.
It helps to not be on social media. That helps. I don't know how it happened. It just I kind of booked those two jobs at the exact same time, and it just kind of somehow magically happened, because I remember, I think on the same day even, like, hey, you got this Marvel thing, and hey, you got this DC thing, like, and a couple hours later, and I was like, well, do I have to pick one? And my reps were like, well, let's see if we can make them both work. And then
I don't think they told anybody, because I think Marvel people, the people making Marvel movies, are probably so snobby about DC they won't even watch it. And the DC people are like, I'm not watching that Marvel shit. And so the Aquaman people aren't watching. They don't know that. I think they don't know.
It's possible, but they unless they're like my parents and my career, that they're about.
No,
to
your whole
see
career has been
something.
about deception.
Yeah,
and that's what's happening right now. Is you're living a double life. You're inhabiting both of these comic universes.
This is like the modern day equivalent of being a union scab.
You're gonna get roughed up in an alley.
I know.
It's like on the waterfront. It's so funny because I loved WandaVision, and when you show up, when Agent Jimmy Woo shows up in that, I was watching it with my son.
Yeah.
He was so excited when you showed up. It's cool.
It is so cool.
The fan loyalty, and he's very discerning about things he likes and doesn't like, and so there's this connection to you now. Like, oh great, I'm glad that he's in this. I'm glad that he's in this.
Oh, that's
project.
very sweet.
Yeah,
that's very sweet. Yeah, I mean, it's cool also because I'm not a superhero. I'm just like a regular guy, and and
some say though
still
that's the greatest superhero of all.
Who says that?
Absolutely nobody.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but I think it's. I mean, actually, in a world inhabited by people that can float, shoot beams out of their eyes, walk through walls.
Yeah.
There's constant portals opening up and they're jumping through. Being a guy in a suit.
Yeah,
makes you pop. You're a guy in a suit who's got a job to do. You're a civil servant, and it's got its own cool factor to it.
I saw a friend showed me something online. Someone had like tweeted something about like, oh my God, it's there's this like quick scene where I'm like bringing coffee to some of my partners, and they were like, "Oh my God, we love that he's bringing coffee to his coworkers," and and I'm like, "Yeah, that is like something that should be cool."
Yeah,
right. Because also, I think if you're watching any of especially the later Avengers, where there's constantly different holes opening up in the sky and dragons made out of fire are coming out, and Thor's punching Spider-Man, and
I thought you were gonna say like the Hulk brought coffee to somebody.
No, but if you saw the Hulk say, "Hulk, go get latte. Anyone else want hot drink?" I think everyone would stop for a second, and they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these CGI effects. And if there's just a moment where Hulk say, or he doesn't even ask, he comes back.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And he says to Captain America, "Me see you drink green tea once. Buy you green tea." Wow, Hulk. "Me not sure green, because everything looked green to me." Yeah, it's not actually green tea. It's actually coffee. "Look green to me." Don't make Hulk mad. "Me also buy you green cookie." No, it's not. No, Hulk. Hulk, you ass.
You green. Everyone green.
Everyone green. Hulk need lens crafters. Okay, Hulk, tell us what you see. All green. Okay, take it easy, Hulk.
Okay.
Every day St. Paddy's Day.
St. Paddy's Day again? Hulk just want beer. Oh, beer green. Hulk, we've been through this. Does your family watch the show and think, wait a minute, I never did that. You know, I never stole a blender. I just made that up. That's not a plot point. But I know that, you know what I mean? I know that if I did a show called Conan, I hired actors to play my parents and my all my brothers and sisters, I would be constantly getting calls like, what the fuck was that? You know, you had me steal a scrunchie. You know, you know what I mean?
No, totally. I kind of like really, you know, I there was this big period of my life where my parents weren't seeing any of the comedy I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I did stand up probably. I wasn't putting anything online. I wasn't doing anything. I just kind of did it silently for you know, almost 10 years, just trying to get it, you know, where I wanted it to be. And then, you know, when the show was coming out and my stand up was coming out, I kind of told my parents, I was like, look, this is really, I'm taking from everyone in the community, you know, and there's a writer's room. It's not just me, you know, and I think I worked hard to create enough likeness, but also enough distance between all the individual family members. So I think my parents were kind of like, okay, he's doing something different. And they're also really big fans of television. Like my parents watch everything, you know, they like would know specific bits of yours. Like my dad loves comedy. He'll watch late night. He watches everything on HBO. So he I think at first maybe had a little bit of this, like, why are you doing this? And we had a couple of those conversations. And then very quickly, like the TV fan in him kind of clicked on. And then, you know, he'll watch the seasons, and now we're at the third season and he's like, oh yeah, you really nailed the tone. You know, and I'm like, oh cool. I'm like talking about tone with my dad. That's like really cool, you know? So that's something.
My father has never said to me, you really nailed the tone. Dad,
that's what every son hopes to hear.
I'm coming home. I'm in the East Coast. Just try to muster a you really nailed the tone. And then something about ragamuffins.
That's what every Hollywood son would love to hear from his father, you know.
You nailed the tone.
Don't even get me started on the lighting. You know, just really, that's where it gets emotional.
Your show went to the Middle East, and I'm really fascinated by this because tell me exactly where you shot.
Season 1 we shot in Egypt, and then season 3 we shot in Egypt and we shot in Jerusalem.
Right.
Yeah, and so we took my character, you know, from the first season we've kind of seen him. He again, he doesn't really have a passion. He gets into his uncle's family business.
Yes.
And he's selling jewelry in the Diamond District,
Right.
which was based on a couple of my buddies that I grew up with who were like the 3 Lebanese dudes in the district, and everyone else is mainly Jewish, and I would walk in and just the banter would be hilarious. I mean, everyone's just going at everybody, and it's the same guys. Everyone's going back and forth, like saying really, really crude shit, and then like
and also
hugging and making deals and like the whole thing.
What's crazy too is your uncle character is so anti-Semitic,
yes,
you know, and obviously to have an anti-Semitic character, but also at times, and this sounds insane, but the stuff he's saying is absolutely crazy, but almost cartoonishly crazy, and you're just saying, nope, that's okay. No, that's not true. But you also give him some dimension so that there are times where I almost feel for him. Do you know what I mean? Or where I think, okay, I see there's a human being in there, which I think is next to impossible to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, we wanted to kind of show him in this position where we have the Rami character, and so much of his thing is like, I'm looking at things in my family, I'm looking at things in my tradition, I'm looking at all these things, and I'm figuring out which things do I want to move forward with? You know, what things do I want to be part of my life? So on one hand, there's the spiritual element of it where I think he's really grasping towards a lot of these great things that he wants. But then there's a couple of cultural things and family things that he's like, you know, this, you know, there's certain level of strictness that's wild. And then there is this like uncle who walks around with his anti-Semitism. Right. And just watching Rami kind of bat that away and what that struggle is really exciting, and because I think it's so real. And so I think when people see it, they're like, I think it's clear what the intention is as to why we're showing it, and how we're showing it, and it exists in every family. I mean, there's actually this really great show that follows a Jewish family called Schnitzel, and they have an uncle who Schnitzel, I'm sorry, and they have an uncle.
I love that show.
Oh, it's so good, and they have the uncle who hates Muslims.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's so funny because it's like you see, oh yeah, that's another thing that I've heard from you know my Jewish friends who watch the show. They're like, dude, I have that uncle. He just says, it's like it becomes algebraic. You know, he just says insert whatever thing, and then you're trying to fight that off from that generation.
Well, the cross currents of kinds of racism, what is when you see in cultures, I'll be talking to someone who's from Mexico, and they'll be like, oh, look at that, guys from Nicaragua, man, those people. And you're like, what are we doing?
Oh, you're not even, I know.
You know what I mean? And then the person in Nicaragua was like, just, keep that Bolivian away from me. Those people, I don't know how you do it. And and you realize that this is happening in China. They've broken it down 75 different ways. And, that province, well, can't marry into that family. And you realize that this is something in our genes.
It's everywhere. And, and I've always felt like it's a little bit unfairly attributed to being like only white people,
Right.
Because I think white people are just the best at racism. Like I think they institutionalized it in many ways. But it's
right.
Racism.
We turned it into like McDonald's. We took people people are like a hamburger, and then white people said, no, there's a way to do this much more efficiently and on a massive scale.
And branded it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not just, there's a lot of organic, homegrown racism in all of our communities that, just isn't branded in the same way. But it really, even something like Islamophobia, I've always felt like, there's this idea that people who aren't Muslim hate Muslims, but I've never seen anyone hate a Muslim more than another Muslim because they're not the type of Muslim that they think they should be. Like there's like Islamophobia, then there's like Muslim Islamophobia, where it's literally like just put Indians and Pakistanis in a room and it's just like, man, can we find what we have in common? Why are we so against each other?
Right.
And I think that's a lot of what we have in the show too, is just some of those elements of, again, like looking at something that is a human virus. And I don't want to be in the position where, okay, I'm making this show and I need to show everyone Arabs and Muslims are really lovable and, don't hate us, because then it just feels so sanitary and it feels so unreal and you just kind of don't believe it. So we have a character like my uncle who exists for that reason, just to say we're putting it all out on the table.
I mean, when you first introduced him, you think, well, he's just a joke. Yeah. Then you have these great scenes where you see that he has some levels to him, which are really cool. So, and it's crazy to say that because we're talking about, a character who should just be immediately canceled. But, that's, I think the thing is you're getting really near these third rails and kind of touching them a little bit, which I think is important to do.
Yeah, it feels like the most, I feel like that's a good way to put it. That third rail or that button you're not supposed to touch, all those things to me feel like the best thing that we could contribute as comedians, like to do that as thoughtfully as possible and to do it in a way where hopefully we're not just like spreading the issue or I would say adding to the problem. But yeah, that feels like the most useful thing I could do, because I don't think any of us are that well read or fit to like lead the country in any sort of direction. But I do think if we can kind of get into emotional complexities and play with them a bit, that starts to feel really fun. And we're also just trying to be funny. So I think that
yeah, that's the important thing. I think is it's got to be comedy first.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Quinta Brunson. And I feel optimistic about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
That's nice. Well, you should feel optimistic because...
Is that a threat? Why'd you say it like that?
You listen to me, Quinta. You listen to me.
I said I feel optimistic.
Suddenly security comes rushing in and beats the shit out of me. It was just the tone of my voice.
You could, yeah.
Delighted to have you on the podcast. I'm just all tingly because I am. Well, some of that's a stroke.
Yeah.
Which happens at my age.
What is your age?
What is?
Yeah.
What is my age? That is such a rude question. It's 61. I'm 61 years old.
That's amazing.
Did I?
That is. That's so cool.
You didn't think
How are you still walking?
You didn't
That's why I
think
don't like to do podcasts. I'm just saying.
No, that's so great.
Yeah,
I love that. That's amazing that someone can live that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's mostly animatronic at this point. So.
You didn't see me. They carried me in and put me in the chair before you walked in.
Anyway, sorry.
But it's funny because you're super young. I remembered being your age, and if I met someone who was 60 or 61, I thought, oh my God, I can't believe they, They just stood up from a sitting position.
That's
not what she meant.
That's not what
She meant you look
First
good
of all, I'm
for
not
your age.
super young. It's relative. Compared to you, yes. But compared to people who are 20, I'm not super young. But I used to watch your show with my sister. And I was very, very young. That's when I was like allowed to come sleep on her floor.
Just like the old late night show.
The old late night show.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal for me, and it was very formative for me. And so I don't know, when you said 61, I was like thinking about my own age and just watching your show when I was younger. I think it's super tight that you're 61, not like
That's cool.
Do you know what I
No.
Yeah, guys.
No.
Podcast.
Well,
Okay.
we were talking about it today. Your show premiered today.
Today is the day that is the anniversary of my late night show starting, which is when things really kicked into high gear for me, obviously.
That's wild.
And that was 1993. So that's
31 years.
31 years ago.
Mhm.
And
What the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I probably was about 10 when I was allowed to sleep up there. It was a big deal to go. My sisters are much older than me, so it was like the biggest deal that could ever happen to me to go be able to sleep upstairs with them. And yeah, I was watching your show and I was like, oh,
you know,
I like
it's,
this guy.
oh, that's nice.
One day I want to hang out with him, but not till he's much older.
Well, you know what's interesting? Let me finish my thought, which is you put the comedy first, which is so important, and then put it in allegiance to a cause that was very important to you. Sometimes people confuse the order and they say, I'm going to do this important comedy that shines a light on this thing, and they forget to put comedy first.
You get it.
The writing is so good, the performing is so good, your cast is amazing, but I also love that we have a culture that's obsessed with wealth, and so many shows are about wealth. Watching your show was so beautifully refreshing to me because so few people, and it's almost like there's a mandate out there. A show has to be about super wealthy people. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I think that part of the reason why I was longing to see something like my show, and thank you for all your kind words, that means the world, was because like wish fulfillment became the biggest thing, the biggest buy. It was the biggest sell. And that goes from shows about wealthy people to shows about people who are like super stylish, people being sold what they are not in order to keep them in a cycle of I'm not good enough. And I really think it's the same thing as when you see an ad for sunglasses that like you can't afford, but that ad is secretly telling you if you don't have these sunglasses, you're not good enough. So you need to get them. And I felt like all the shows were starting to feel that way. And with Abbott, just going to a point about what you said, I didn't really think about the good cause when I was making it. There was no part of me, in spite of how many people say it, that was like, I want to make a show that shines a light on teachers. I really did not give a fuck. It wasn't until the night that it premiered, and we premiered it in front of a group of teachers on the Walt Disney line. I was like, holy shit, this is about teachers. What if these teachers don't? I didn't even think about that. To me, it was just a ripe environment for a television show.
Yes.
For a workplace comedy.
Well, your mom,
yes,
teacher for many years,
yep,
and you had the experience. I've read in interviews, we said you went there and you're visiting your mom at her elementary school, and you looked around and you said, oh, this is a show. Now, what I love is, as I said before, there are people that think they're being altruistic. Like, I need to do a show that's about this important cause that we all need to think about. And think, well, no, good art comes from the inspiration first.
Yep.
And you had the inspiration out of, you love comedy, you wanted to make a show, you saw this place that would make a great show.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't work if you had gone at it the other way.
I don't think so either. And I think it's the same side of the coin of like the people who made Succession. Someone looked at that world and saw a show and they made a great show. And it was the same approach to Abbott. Now that show isn't like altruistic in nature or like shining a light on anything, but I still think most artists and television writers should do exactly what you said. Like, you see a good world, make a good show. If whatever happens after that, and you can't really control that part of it. I would have never expected all that came from everything that teachers gain from it. I just did not. A beautiful blessing on the side of just showcasing a world. Because the other thing is, to me, that world doesn't look bad. That's the world that I'm from. It's so it was so funny when the show came out and they're like, these underrepresented, these poor children are finally. I was like, they're just regular ass kids, y'all. They not that poor. They're the regular amount of American poor. It was like, my God, these people are so decrepit and it's beautiful. They have the spotlight. I was like,
You're talking about my mom, and you.
And me.
Yeah. Oh my God, that you would shine a light on this horrible world.
These people, they're so sad.
It's not The Walking Dead.
No, literally. It's funny.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff you can't do anything about. Some people will interpret the art that way, and you just kind of live with it, I guess.
You know what's fun, too, is there's so much great comedy moments that come out of, we don't have enough scissors. We need to figure out a way to get scissors. And it's not coming from a place of teaching a lesson. It's coming from, this is great. This is a good comedic moment.
Yeah.
And then you can feel whatever you're going to feel after that, which is, there is something deeply screwed up about the priorities in our country. These are our schools. And so something is tragically fucked up, but it's coming on the heels of finding all of this beautiful human comedy, character comedy.
Totally.
You know, not sitcom jokes, but character comedy.
Have you ever watched King of Queens?
Yeah.
So there's an episode of that show where they're on strike from IPS where they work, which is UPS, the main character, Doug, and his friends. And ultimately, I imagine when they went in the room, they were just like, what's Doug going to do without work in Arthur's home, his father-in-law?
Yep.
Like, how is Arthur going to get on Doug's nerves in this way? And I'm sure that's like what was in the room and on the board. But when I watched as a young girl, it's how I learned about like strikes and the effectiveness of strikes. And I just know they weren't in that room like, let's teach America a lesson. The man to do it is Kevin James. It was just, but I wound up like, it was my first experience watching something about the need for a strike every now and then.
Yeah.
So I like to approach comedy in that way of just the most basic comedic situation, the most basic sitcom, 1, 2, 3. And then because of our world, though, because of being in a public school, we're not afraid to go to those places where you might learn a lesson. And it honestly just comes out organically because we have really strong characters. And when you have characters that are strong with real opinions and real thoughts and backgrounds, you like naturally get to this place of, oh shit, we'll write ourselves into a lesson. Like, oh fuck, damn, okay. Yeah. Barbara just dropped some knowledge that we didn't plan on her dropping, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, I really hate this. Is
what do you hate? What do you hate?
I was like talking.
Is it him? Do we need to get rid of him?
Am I the problem?
No, I'm gonna be quiet.
So old. We should get rid of him.
Let's us kids hang out.
Let's phase me out now.
I'm only 51.
51?
Oh God.
What's it like?
You're 51.
Thank you.
You look great.
Hey.
You all look great.
Hey. You did not say that to me.
I did say that.
No, you didn't.
That's where she was headed. That's
I was headed
you
there.
were headed that way.
I was headed
cut
there.
her
This is
off.
bullshit. You went right to you look great. You were doing a lot of how long has he got? I could see it in your eyes.
Hi, my name is Niecy Nash Betts, and I feel very sexy about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
Yes, this is the best answer. I've been listening to years and years of people say, I feel, confused. I feel less than enthused. But you nailed it. Very sexy. And by the way, you look amazing.
Thank you.
You look incredible.
Thank you.
And you always do. You came on my show many times. You always look absolutely divine.
Well, see, and that's part of why I feel sexy, because I have to pull up for you. I'm Team Coco. Like, I'm in it. I'm all the way in it.
You're all the way in?
I'm all the way in it.
I've never been all the way into anything.
Yeah, I'm all the way in it. So when I pull up for you, I have to present.
That is fantastic.
Hence, I feel sexy.
Yeah. And look at me. I just look like I sort of work at the library. And they won't even let me near the books.
I'm
You know what
doing
I mean?
enough today for the both of us.
Okay.
I got it. I got
look
you covered.
amazing.
I got
look
you covered.
incredible. I was just telling you that I was, just before I sat down to talk to you minutes ago, I was talking to a bunch of students who came by, and they're all studying communications, and they wanted to know, give us some advice about the business. And I talked to them for a while. And the first thing you said when I came in is this: what did you tell them? Did you tell them?
I said, did you tell them the truth?
Now you tell us what the truth is.
Oh my goodness.
Let's hear it.
If you want to, to prepare you for show business,
Yep.
make sure you buy a big flat of top ramen.
Yeah.
You need ramen noodles. Because
that I didn't say. I lived on chicken-flavored ramen noodles, and I could make a tuna fish sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I lived off of for years.
That's what I'm trying to that's why you got to tell the kids right.
I didn't say that.
You got to tell them to always make sure they have Advil or some sort of pain reliever, because you get a sore back sleeping on different couches.
Yes.
You got to tell them these things.
Yeah.
You got to tell them that they will talk about you right in front of your face in an audition like you're not even standing there. This happened to me. I'm literally in an audition. And the one woman says to the guy sitting next to it, well, she has a cute face. Do you think she could lose weight? And I was like, I can hear you.
You're right there.
I'm right here.
First of all, that experience, you do get dehumanized. I feel, I was always a writer. I never went just the pure acting route for good reason, and I think I saved America some bad acting. But I see how you have to go. They'll bring in 9,000 people for one role, and they read you, and they probably stop seeing you as a person, and more as just like, this is a commodity. Can we use this person? Can we not? And then they shuffle you through, and that does such a number on people's egos.
For me, I have to say that, and this is another thing you could tell the kids that I've always known, that there is a difference between the call on your life and a hobby. Those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to show up differently, because when I knew that this was, my plan A and my plan B was to make my plan A work, when I walked into that room, if they did not choose me, I had no problem saying, I feel so sorry for you. And I meant it with my whole chest.
That's great. That's
You know what I mean? Because you don't know. I'm going to be the thing. You'll see.
Yeah.
Watch and see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So where did you get that? Where do you get that confidence? Because a lot of people would kill to have that confidence. I get that confidence if I've had a lot to drink.
Oh boy.
No, really, just a lot to drink. I feel like it's if you're missing out on this, and my wife says, "Shut up." I am it. And she's like, "You're really not." But that's how I feel if I've had some kind of substance.
Well, I would probably have to say very early on, I just chose to believe the manufacturer. I'm like, that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I pray and I understand what my marching orders are, what I sense in my spirit is for me, and I just move forward with reckless abandon. I don't even think about it not happening. And when people don't see it, I'm like, oh, okay. Even from when I met Ed Asner as a kid on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I told him, I was like, I know you don't know me. My name is Niecy. I'm going to get a star right here one day. And he was like, yeah, kid, scram. And
he put a cigar out on your head.
Basically. And I was screaming as he was walking away, remember my name. So I didn't have a doubt about it.
But then you got a star.
And I invited him to come.
You seriously did?
I invited him to come. He sent me a letter and said, I reminded him of our conversation. Mm-hmm. He said, I'm glad you didn't let a crotchety old man keep you from your dream.
Oh, God bless him.
And he said, of course I know your name. And he drew a star and he wrote my name in it.
Oh.
And he said he could not come. Mm-hmm. But the day before my ceremony, I got a call and he said, I'll be there.
Wow.
And he came.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he came to my star ceremony.
It's funny because you have to have, there's no other word than some sort of divine voice in you that tells you this is gonna work. you know?
Yes, and even though you have it, it doesn't mean you don't have days. You tell the kids this too. Get you some knee pads because you're going to be crawling across that floor, hollering and crying because there are some things you want so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And even though you know everything is divinely ordered in your humanity, we just want what we want when we want it, you know, and how we want it.
Yeah.
So I've had days like that, you know, where people didn't see me like I saw myself. People thought I was a one-trick pony for a long time. They're like, oh, no, you do comedy. We know what you do. And I'm like, I can do more than that.
Yeah.
You know the adage, people who can make you laugh can make you cry. The reverse is not always true.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Your best dramatic actors, you're probably never going to see on a comedy and, you know, a multicam coming this fall. You're not.
Right.
You're just not.
Right.
But somebody who can make you laugh has the bandwidth, has the agency, has the depth to also bring you to tears. And I was like, give me a chance. And for a long time, they said no. And then finally, I got a chance. And now I'm doing so much drama, I think people forgot I'm funny. I'm like, oh, Lord. Conan, write me a script.
Obviously, I love The Americans. I love Perry Mason. And I love the take on it. I love that the first season was about, it's the origin story, which I thought was brilliantly done.
Yes.
And now that that's been settled, you're off and running,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. But I must mention your stunning cameo in Cocaine Bear.
Yes. Yes. Hey, and I want to start by saying, when I read the script, and then one of the first lines is Andrew Thornton II.
Mm-hmm.
So if you Google Andrew Thornton II, surely, I've already said, I've pitched this to Elizabeth Banks. I said, we have to do the prequel that leads up to that moment where he's throwing cocaine out
Because
of
he's a
plane.
fascinating story.
Oh my God.
Yes.
He's unbelievable.
But the film opens, and I don't think I'm spoiling much of anything. But I would have. I'll go see you in anything. So
Thank
did
you.
I not know that Elizabeth Banks? I'm friendly with her, and I was excited to see Cocaine Bear, and I really enjoyed it. And so the whole thing was a success. But if I hadn't known any of those things and I just heard that you were in this movie, I'd have said, well, it's Matthew Rhys. I got to go check it out. And so I would go, and you were gone very quickly.
Oh, yes.
Instantly in a way that's hilarious.
Yes, but it was very strategic because Kerry was shooting in Ireland. Ireland was being shot as Appalachia, obviously.
Right.
And I'd been with the kids going to various aquariums for some time, and I'd read the script, and in passing I said, "Who's playing that? Who's playing Andrew Thornton the second?" She's like, "Who's he?" I was like, "The guy at the beginning, the whole reason for this film."
Right.
And she's like, "I don't know. I'll ask Banks." I was like, "Text Banks now. See if any." She goes, "We haven't even cast it yet." So I said, I'll do it. I'll do it because it would mean half a day away from the children. Kerry wasn't in the scene, and I knew I could get like a solid 3/4 of a day on my own.
Yes.
And that was
Brilliant.
my sole reason for doing it.
And then you held out for $10 million.
I did.
And you got it.
I got it, but I think it was worth it. I think I was worth it. And I had a lot of fun.
It's the best 80 seconds
of my
film.
life. That's all my reel is now, is that 80 seconds.
We're talking about this antique motorcycle. It reminds me that I heard that you got yourself this boat recently.
Yeah.
And I love the way you got the boat.
Yeah.
Which is it started, which is a deadly combination. I think were you on the internet?
I was.
And was drink involved?
And late at night, yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was actually Welsh whiskey, I hasten to add, which I don't usually drink. So I count that as part of this madness befell me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do occasionally like to look at old boats.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking, and I'm a little bit of a Hemingway fan, and I saw this boat, which I knew Hemingway had a Wheeler Playmate, and I saw a Wheeler Playmate for sale on eBay, and I knew there's very few around. This boat was also called Rarebit. Now, I don't know if you know the dish.
Welsh Rarebit, yeah.
She was named Rarebit in 1939, which was built in Brooklyn. And so many planets were aligning and colliding.
Oh, that's a voice from beyond saying, this, you have to do this.
Right. And that's what I told Kerry in the morning. I said, not that I have to do this, that I had done it.
reeking of alcohol.
Yes, I've bought a boat. And she's like, you don't even row. I was like, oh, it's beyond rowing.
Oh, we're not talking about rowing, my child.
No. We shall take family trips to this. So, so I embarked on this 4-year odyssey of madness where I restored this boat. Well, myself and the captain did. She kind of spearheaded the restoration because so many things went wrong. We started out with a shipwright who said he would do it, didn't do it. Another one didn't do it. So in the end, my captain said, we'll do it. Listen, there's plenty of YouTube videos. We just need to do that. We'll be fine. And that's what we did over many years. And then we passed the inspection, and now she's being chartered in New York Harbor. I am still waiting for the captain to call going, we're going down. And it's that little bit in the front that you did. You half-wit. Yeah.
You said you patched it.
I did. I didn't say with what. Yeah.
So this is the boat, because I'm also a Hemingway fan, and I think this is the boat that. Did he have this boat in Cuba?
He did.
Okay, and I think there's famous footage of him. He would go out and fish on this boat.
Yes.
And it had a big chair, like a big
fighting chair.
Yeah. And then he would unfortunately also drink a lot on the boat.
Yeah.
Which is didn't help things for him.
No.
I was in Cuba once. I didn't get to see his house, but I was shooting something in Havana, I was in a bar. I was shooting a travel show in Havana.
How long have you been doing this travel show?
It was called Conan Without Borders. We're shifting into something else. We're going to give it a different
Conan
name.
with Borders.
Conan with Borders.
Good.
Responsible Conan.
Oh, good.
Conan who stays within the county lines.
Mental borders.
Yeah. It's just me roaming around a very small portion of Los Angeles.
Brilliant.
Mostly in the same mall.
Brilliant.
But I was there and I went to a bar, and I guess it was one of Hemingway's favorite bars in Havana, and there's a big statue, there's a life-size statue of him at the bar. So it's a life-size Hemingway in bronze that's at the bar, leaning against the bar, having a drink. And I thought, he was an alcoholic.
Yes, I know.
This is strange.
I know that.
This is strange.
Yes, the applauding or the deifying. I know.
It was a little strange. It was, but whatever.
Yes,
still,
I know.
After a few drinks, I was happy to see the statue
and have your photo taken.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
several photos.
I know. I do have this strange relationship with Hemingway. Kind of, I think it boils down to my own strange relationship with kind of possibly what I do and. Do you say machismo?
Yeah.
Yes. So I kind of grapple with all these things at times, because sometimes I look at what I do and I go, oh my God, this is so stupid. Or I feel at times very emasculated, and therefore I wonder sometimes if I overcompensate by doing stupid things like this, or whether but then at the end of the day, I enjoy it. It's
a boat. It's a beautiful boat.
Yes.
I'm all for it.
I know.
And I accept your invitation.
Glorious. I stuttered too heavily.
Wow, you're
bad.
not quite as good an actor as I thought you were.
No, polish isn't there yet. Yes. Ah, damn it, ask me again. There's always a second take.
That's why I love soap operas, is that and certain kinds of TV dramas, is that an actor will clearly register displeasure, but the other actor, so you'll come to me and you'll say, well, Conan, I'll be spending the weekend with you. And I'll go, the weekend with me? And then you'll go, problem. And I'll go, not at all.
I know.
And then you're as happy as a clam.
I know.
Whereas anyone else in the
go,
world...
Did you blink for that length of time? What happened to your brain in those 4 seconds?
I love to do that in real life.
I know.
But I think I'm happy that you got this boat. I think it's great.
Well, then come aboard anytime you want.
Oh, seriously,
the children don't go near it anymore. They've only done it like twice.
I think it's you and me out on the ocean
That's
together.
Pretty much it. Sending out distress calls.
We can't have... Immediately, I'll be sending out distress calls...
We don't.
When it's slightly rocking,
yes.
You'll say, Conan, we're fine.
Why is it doing that?
Why is there motion in this vehicle?
Make it stop.
I am going to... Well, you're a busy man. You have things to do. You have worlds to conquer.
I say I do.
I know, but you know what? Everyone... I learned to say it. I used to say I have nowhere to go.
Oh.
And my time is yours.
Yes.
I was dead in Hollywood. So what I love is when you get the call ahead of time, Matthew Rhys, he's got a lot going on. He's very busy. And so I know that if I follow you down to the lobby, you're going to go across the street, get a bubble tea.
No, there's a biryani truck outside. I clocked that on the way in. I'm no stranger to some street Indian food.
You are a pure delight. You're a crazy talented actor, but also you are hilariously funny. And it is a personal grudge of mine. When handsome, talented actors are also hilariously funny, it enrages me because I like to say this was my consolation prize for other things. So fuck you.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
Thank you. Now there's
it's not right.
No, there's a turn of phrase I've heard many a time and will happily hear again.
What?
Fuck you. Thank you.
Oh, I always heard the Welsh were just brilliant poets.
Yes.
And there you heard it right there.
You heard it right there.
Can I hear it in Welsh?
Kerry Gravy.
Kerry Gravy.
Yeah, there you go. Perfectly said.
Kerry Gravy.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that one.
Yes.
That will come in handy.
I was doing a play once off Broadway, and I was playing not a very likable character, and I would say within half a block of the theater after finishing, and a woman was walking in the opposite direction of me. I was walking away from this. She was coming towards me, and she just went, "You're an asshole." And then I thought, oh, she's seen the play.
Yeah.
And then I went, hang on, she's walking in the opposite. I'm walking from the theater. She's walking in the opposite direction towards it. So maybe she hasn't seen the play. And that stayed with me forever.
Did you ever find out?
No. And I've always wondered whether she's seen the play or not.
And then you married her.
And that's when I knew.
I'm so needy. That's the woman I would follow.
Exactly.
Is there any way I can make it up?
It played into every insecurity I had. Played.
Matthew, good God. This has made my day. Seriously, thank you very much.
Thank you for the invitation as always.
Oh my God.
This is a true joy.
Yes, I will come. I will haunt you and your boat. You'll see.
Please do. It needs a ghost.
The first thing I wanted to mention is I believe you and I are the same age. Born the same year.
63?
I'm 77.
Okay.
No, I was born in 1963.
Yeah, me too.
So we're both the same age. And you guys are headed out on a tour, the M72 tour. And you guys are leaving. This is going to come out pretty soon, this tour. You've got this new album, 72 Seasons. And I've been listening to this one track, Lux Eterna, on it, which... listen to this track, and I'm thinking, these guys have not lost a step.
Well, thank you.
No, but I mean, this could have been 1981. It's stunning to me. You guys, you know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. And here it is all these years later. You're headed out on this massive tour that's going to last 2 years. If someone told me I was going out for 2 weeks on a tour right now, I would find the nearest chair and beat them with it.
Run over to Jack's house.
Yeah. I would hide under all his CDs. I don't know how. How do you? I mean, at this point in your life, the physicality, the amount of determination it takes, it just blows my mind.
The easy answer is that it doesn't get any easier whatsoever. And as I've been explaining this in the last week or two, as I've started hearing myself do interviews again about this, around this new project, it takes twice the effort or more just to reach the same level, just to plateau. So it's not, I'm on the Peloton an hour and a half a day and I'm working out and I'm watching what I'm eating and I'm being healthy and all that to get better. It's just to stay the same at this age. But, I take it seriously. All of us in our own ways take it seriously. All of us have different routines, our own unique ways of approaching it. And the main thing is that when we get up on that stage, we want to be there for the other guys in the band and obviously for the audience and be the best we can be. I do find myself often at a sort of crossroads in my mind where it's like I eat the same shit for breakfast every day. I eat the same shit for lunch every day. I eat more or less the same thing for dinner every day. I'm very, very routine based, and I really like to be in that routine. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I'm out of that routine, it's like,
I need my tofu for dinner and I need my protein and I need this and that. And then I kind of sit there and go, really? You can't just go to a restaurant with your friends and have like what's on the menu. You got to be that rigid. So there is that kind of rigid thing that you really feel that that's how you get to the place where you can be your best every day at those shows. The other side of that, if you could sit here with your 22-year-old and go, really, that's what you've become? So it's sort of, it's like it's a constant battle between those two approaches. But somebody said a couple of weeks ago when I was explaining these new lifestyle choices, as we call them, he said, it sounds like it feels good to feel good.
Yeah.
And I like that. I still occasionally drink, but it's like once a month now, and I eat my protein and my yogurt and my egg whites and my tofu.
You're describing the rock and roll dream.
That's right.
This is the funny thing
out there. This is where you're going to end up if you want to keep doing this.
There are so many kids. There's so many kids since like 1981 that'd be like, I want to be James Hetfield. I want to be Lars Ulrich. That's my dream. And to find out later on that it's
tofu and egg whites.
9 hours of sleep a night. Hydrate. Avoid the sun. Check your stool every day.
That's right.
To make sure there's no corn in there.
This is.
But
it's the way life goes.
This is the way it goes. The best. This is my favorite analogy. My favorite analogy for life and aging, and it's not funny, but it's very profound, and it's something that I think about a lot. Is that when you're born, you're dropped into a fast current. And so you don't even have to do anything, and you just start growing taller, you start getting muscle, you start, everything. And then the current starts to slow down in your late 20s, early 30s, and then 40, and then the current kind of stands still. So in order to make any progress, you need to then the current starts moving against you. So that in order to stay in the same place, you need to start doing butterfly strokes and working hard. And what you're describing makes sense, which is what we were just doing in Norway, shooting this TV project. I did the same thing as you.
Yeah.
I was my weight, and I was working out. I was eating right and everything, just so I could run around and be the jackass that I was 25 years
ago.
Doing nothing.
And you know what? I mean, as easy it is to make fun of, and we can sit here and blah, blah, blah. But I like when I'm up on stage and I feel strong and I'm in that moment and the four of us are connecting and we're connecting with an audience, whatever the size is, all of it's worth it.
Yeah.
All of it's worth it. And I do actually, I'm 20 pounds lighter now than I was at the peak or the bottom, however you look at it, of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually feel good and, proactive, and we get shit done and we move shit forward, and it's kind of cool.
Well,
and
so
it's not.
You can't do what you do. You cannot do those shows. And you just cannot do it. I mean, to think about what it takes, the caloric burn, but also the concentration.
It's also the mental element of it. If you feel good, like the analogy, for instance, with alcohol is that if I have a couple glasses of wine, a couple glasses of champagne, it's not really going to affect the show the next day. But a couple of glasses of wine will affect my sleep. Yeah. Because then I got to go up and go to the bathroom 2-3 times or whatever. And then the sleep affects the mood the next day. And then the mood and the sleep and all that shit then affects the 2.5 hours on stage. So there's a domino effect at play here that you have to be respectful to. But listen, who would have thought that, coming up on 41 years later, that Metallica would still be functioning, would still be relevant enough to be sitting here with you guys, thank you very much. Still
You're
be, going out there, going out there and playing, a 2-year
You cleared a high bar, Lars.
Going out there and playing a 2-year tour and putting records out that still connect with people, and even in the wake of something like Stranger Things last summer,
I know that was crazy.
Reaching more and more people who the fuck would have thought that 40 years ago?
Well,
or even if we were sitting 20 years ago and going, in 23, the biggest rock bands in the world would be the Chili Peppers and Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and Metallica or whatever. You would be going, no, there'll be a whole new, younger generation coming in and dethroning everybody, who was big 20 years ago. And we'll all be, in retirement homes somewhere. And we're still out here doing it. And Guns are still out here doing it. And AC/DC is out here and so on and so forth. That's a crazy thing. Yeah. And who would have, again, thought, if you take it a step further and say, McCartney just turned 80. He's still out there.
Yeah.
Jagger is doing all those sexy bum wiggles better than he's ever done and connected. But I mean,
but he's doing it against his own. He can't stop. Now it's involuntary.
No, but the Stones.
Turns out it was always that way.
It's a spasm.
It was always that way.
It's certainly. It's inspiring, and I think that as long as the shoulders and the necks and the knees and the backs and all of it, if they keep functioning on the four Metallica guys, we'll keep doing this hopefully for another 20 years, egg whites and tofu included.
There's something about your past that doesn't make sense. There's a lot of things that do make sense, but I didn't know that you were in the U.S. Army Reserve.
Oh, yeah.
And I cannot imagine you in any situation where people are telling you this is how you must behave and this is what's required.
Yeah, really tough.
I just can't imagine you
tough
falling into line. You did that for a couple of years, right?
I was in the I was in the reserves to avoid going to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of old,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, I know. I know. We'll bring that up second. That's my next question. You seem very old to me. That's my next question. Which isn't even a question. I'm realizing none of these are questions. These are just statements.
Yeah. So I was in the reserves to avoid Vietnam, and I was in it. I went to basic training. I had occupational specialty school. I was a petroleum storage specialist, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So then I had to go to meetings once a month for the next 6 years. And to go to the meetings were near my parents' apartment in Brooklyn. And I was living in Manhattan. So once a month I would go home. And I had a big... I think the word was at the time, Jufro.
Now you have, that's...
Wait,
now,
do I tally this?
No. That's, he has one anti-Semitic comment to my 2.5.
The score is 1 to 2.5.
Yeah.
This is anybody's game. Wow. I'm excited.
I can't believe we're competing. I got this now. I want this.
So anyway, I would stay with my parents for the weekend, and I had a wig, and I would wear the wig, and I was doing this once a month. And then in the summer, there was a summer camp that you had to go away for 2 weeks. So all these guys were in my unit. And then I heard about a psychiatrist who was writing letters for like $250. And so I went to see him and I talked to him for, 45 minutes. And he wrote me up this letter. And the letter basically said that I was crazy. And I took the letter, and I'm in for 2 years now, so I know all these people. Imagine coming to work and acting insane.
Yeah.
Which is what I did. I had the letter. Where's the major? Where's the major? I need to talk to the major. Yeah. So
did it work?
I saw friends. These are friends of mine. I socialize with these people. I see them all huddled together, pointing and looking. What's pointing at me? What's he doing? What's with David? Look at him. Look at him. And then I went to see the major, and the major was reading the letter, and he's talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm answering his questions. And after 5 minutes, he says to me, "Can you drive home?"
Oh my God. Wow.
What?
And I swear I said this line way before Dustin Hoffman said it in that movie. I said, Oh yeah, I'm a good driver. I'm a good driver. And that was it. And I got out.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Do you still have that letter? You must.
I don't think I do.
Okay. We'll find it.
Yeah. But quite a, I have to say, tremendous performance on my part.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
I can tell.
Yeah.
And here it was spectacular.
Yeah, it's really
good. Lighting and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's because you were also, the job I can imagine you having, which you did, was you were a limo driver for a while. And I don't know if you ever did this, but this has happened to me many times where I go to the airport and I get picked up and my wife and I are in the back and we're chatting. And then out of nowhere, the driver says, well, I have a cream for that. You know, so they've clearly been listening. It's like your phone when it knows you've been talking about, maybe I should go buy a new camping tent. And then your phone suddenly suggests, you know, REI is just a block and a half away. And it's this eerie feeling.
Right.
Were you a listener? Would you listen in and interject?
Their conversations really weren't interesting enough.
Yeah.
She was an old woman. She was practically blind. She could see a little bit.
Right.
And I took complete advantage of her because she couldn't see. She didn't know if the car was filthy or not. And it was filthy. So I would hear from the back seat, is the car clean? I go, yeah, spotless. Car's spotless.
Yeah, always means not true. That's a giveaway.
And she'd say to me, you got your hat on? Because I had a chauffeur's cap.
Sure.
Yeah. I said, yeah, I got that. I got the cap on. Yeah, I got the cap on. And then one of her friends squealed on me.
Who would do that?
She saw the car, the condition of the car.
It was a Datsun.
She saw how filthy the car was, and she squealed on me, and that was it. I got fired.
Now, let me ask you a question about your life, which is, are you able, when it's been a really tough news day, and you're watching things go down that maybe worry you as a husband and a father, are you able to go home and shake that off and say, oh?
It really depends. I mean, sometimes yes. I mean, look, most news is not good news, right? Most news is negative in some way or another. Like some things are very distressing. Obviously, the school shootings are very upsetting. War is very upsetting. You know, January 6th was very upsetting. That sort of thing, and it's tough to shake it off. But generally speaking, I go home and I try to change the subject. I try to, just be with the kids and be with the wife, and not. I don't watch news. I'll watch you, or I'll watch other things on streaming or whatever, but like I'll try not to watch any news when I go home.
Do you, I mean, I guess Twitter has become a different thing, but
it's really weird now, isn't it? Are you on it? Like the algorithms are all
I got off. I couldn't.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I didn't go on it that much, but there are certain ways where you can get the news in kind of a straightforward way on Twitter, and then I felt like it started to change, and now I'm seeing a lot of stuff that just really depresses me. And I feel like a very heavy lens has been put in front of me that's distorting the picture.
I feel like there's an algorithm that, look, all social media has this now where they've all been doing this, where they're exacerbating and making us see conflict and hate and stuff like that. But I feel like this new permutation of Twitter is like, it's showing me things I don't want to see. Like there's a whole, I have the people I follow and I want to read them, but like it defaults to some other group of tweets that like I don't want to watch. I don't want to read these tweets from these people. Who are they?
Right.
Like they've added this thing of like, here are tweets that we would like you to read,
as opposed to this is what you would like to read.
Yeah. From really awful people, and I don't know. I mean, it's just strange to me, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that it's just all you see online is extremes.
Right.
Like the people in the middle aren't really that active. It's the people who are extreme who are just the loudest.
Are you just talking about Twitter, or are you talking about all social media?
All of them. All this,
Really?
like when I go on Reddit, I feel like it's like sometimes it's very doomsy.
Well, of course, it's Reddit. What do you think? What are you talking about? That's like
I
when
know,
I
but
go into
even
the dark
fun
web, it
subreddits.
takes a turn. Yes, there's
Can I just say, even the pornography I watch is very, it's very doomsday. It's always like, let's do it. What's the point? We'll be dead soon. And then, wong chunka, wonka, wonka, wong chunka.
Yeah.
you look tense.
Wong chunka.
Wong chunka, that's your porn music?
I thought it was shaka bow bow.
Well, that's, I watch, listen, I like to score my own pornography.
Everybody wong chunka
What is
tonight.
everybody wong
Wong
chunka?
chunka tonight.
You listen on mute and then you do the music for it?
Yeah.
What the?
What a turn on.
I like to mute the porn and then put my own music in.
And voices.
La 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 la.
And sound effects.
I've just never,
Here I go.
I've never heard one chaka. Like I've just never.
Yeah.
It's.
I
I was
thought it
thinking
was
more
kind
of like that's like a Beretta episode.
It's
of
a,
the
I thought it
70s
was
police.
agreed upon that it was shaka bow bow.
I thought it was.
Ooh,
When
nice.
was the last time you guys watched porn? None of this is-
1977. It's in the
Okay.
book.
Yeah, that was the summer of porn. We were all, except during the blackout,
Yeah.
when suddenly all the porn went dark.
That's the
No,
blackout.
when Elvis passed, we all had to do something to recover. So we
I
watched
was
porn.
4 years old.
And of course, that porn went a wong chunka wonka chunka wong chunka. I'm telling you, this is all true. It's all in the book.
There's no
porn music?
There's no porn in the book.
No,
What
there's
is
no
the
porn.
new
There is
porn
no
music?
porn in
No,
the
what's
book. Don't
your
worry.
like? If you were to do porn music, what would it be?
It wouldn't be, there would be no music. It's just the squishing sounds.
Okay.
Oh God.
Right.
It's like,
What are they making latkes before they have sex?
it's the squishing sounds.
First of all, this is not a squishing
No,
sound.
that's a clapping sound.
I know I can't squish with my hand
You're trying to-
properly.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
right.
Yeah,
There
it's
we
like
go.
that. That's
We have
like
a respected newsman here. And
what's going on?
people rely on him
Somebody
to
stepped on
find
a
out
great.
what's happening. And this is what you do with it, Sona?
I
You
didn't
do
take
this?
us down this road.
Well, Gourley and I put beautiful music
Yeah.
to the
Beautiful.
pornography,
Uh-huh.
and then you come along with your physical sounds,
Your
which are
squishy
disgusting.
noise.
Apparently, you and your husband high-five each other during sex.
Because it's a
New one.
squishing sound. That's just like a.
We did it!
The Clippers scored another hit. Listen to that crowd squish.
Your babies are good though. You said.
Come on. Why do you have to go to my babies for
You just
porn?
because because all of a sudden we were talking about you having sex. So
Yeah.
like
Oh, God. Yeah, they're good. They're going to be
the
two.
only time yes you had babies.
Yes,
that's
I
what I
did.
know. And last time I did this podcast, you were about to have twins.
And you suggested I name them Leopold and Loeb.
which is a fantastic
Yeah.
idea.
That's great.
I think Leopold and Loeb is the perfect name for
Yeah,
them.
or Eric and Lyle.
And there's so many.
Eric
so
and
many.
Lyle's a good one.
There are so many killing duos.
Sacco and Vanzetti.
Sacco and Vanzetti. Well, were they guilty? We don't know.
Right. Fat Man and Little Boy.
Yeah.
I
Oh my,
don't know
oh my
these.
God.
Oh wow.
Those
my
are, Those are the
God.
nuclear bombs we
Yes,
dropped.
yes, they are.
Just
That's right. That's right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if I'm just saying, if one of her kids were a little chubbier than the other one, that could be
Well,
Fat Man
are-
and Little Boy.
Yeah, one's a little thicker.
Well, there you go. There you
Oh,
go.
that's great. He's probably listening right now, and a single tear is going down his cheek.
Yeah, he's listening to
Mama thinks I'm chunky. You were invited to a huge celebrity wedding,
I know.
and you don't know why.
I do know why. I think I was just so flattered and excited and honored that it kind of didn't make sense.
Well, tell the story.
All right.
And start at the beginning where you're in your bed, corn crib, whatever.
See, you were so close.
it was
Honestly.
You were in your normal bed
Thank
All
you.
right.
that a
Thank you.
person in the 21st century would have.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
And you got the covers pulled up, and you are waking up
Yes.
outside.
Oh,
There
come
it
on.
is.
Come on.
Wait a minute, that's
There
not.
it is.
A lot of people have chickens now and
Really?
roosters. Yes, they do.
No.
Let's take a poll. I don't.
I don't.
I don't.
I don't. I guess
Okay.
I win. That's my point. My point is we don't, but we are in a bubble. Most people out there have chickens.
But you specifically
And you wake up.
eat my slop.
Thank you. Eat your slop. Then it's out to the North 40 and you get to work. No, anyway, please tell us.
I'll walk you through it, yes.
Tell us about the celebrity wedding. 'Cause
Okay.
This is a big one.
Okay, so here's how it all began. The year was 2009. 30 Rock was going. Alec Baldwin was hosting SNL on February 14th, 2009. The musical guest were the Jonas Brothers.
For God's sake. Oh, okay. I see where you're going now. For a minute, I didn't know where this was all going.
You were already fresh. Let him tell his story.
Well, I thought he was going to. It's like he was testifying and he was giving dates, and I got nervous.
I want to hear the story.
All right, I don't want to ruin it because I think it was a beginner. Take us from the beginning and go.
I literally was.
Yes, I know. I apologize.
He's doing the thing you asked.
I apologize.
And you stopped him to tell him to do the thing you asked.
Well, he started giving dates. I don't want dates, but anyway, go ahead.
You do dates all the time.
Please.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ugh. So anyways, the musical guests were the Jonas Brothers. Alec had me come on and do a little cameo during his opening monologue. So of course I was thrilled to do that. I was like, absolutely. But during the course of the rehearsals and the performances and stuff, just hanging out, I got to know the Jonas Brothers. Delightful individuals, all three of them. And so that was in 2009, and like they were babies back then. And so it's not like I was like, hey, let's exchange information and be friends forever. But during the course of years, our paths crossed again. I saw them at a different SNL when Tracy Morgan was hosting. I was staying in a hotel in Toronto that Nick Jonas happened to be at. And then here in Los Angeles, I'm neighbors with a very talented actor named Glenn Powell. He was just in the Top Gun movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's the
so many
best.
attractive men in this story.
So Glenn and Nick Jonas had worked together on Scream Queens, which I think was either Fox or FX.
Yeah.
And so Glenn is just such a lovely host. He would have game nights, movie nights, hangout nights. And so Nick Jonas would come to those parties. I was their neighbor, so I would come over. Again, I'm 1,000 years older than any of these children. So I'd be like, quiet down now. And just as a side note, Nick Jonas happens to be a big fan of the movie They Came Together that I was in. I mean, I have to admit, I haven't even seen the movie, but he was such a big fan. Glenn would invite me over, and then Nick would ask me all these questions about the movie that I simply didn't have the answers to.
So I'm going to catch us up. You became tight with some of the Jonas Brothers.
Am I taking too long?
A little bit.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, stop it.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get us down the road a little bit.
I want to hear more about Glenn Powell and stuff, too. Let's just stop butting in.
You ask me the question.
Yeah, sorry. We're sorry about him.
Yeah, we're sorry.
We only have so much tape in the machine.
Stop. There is no
you
tape.
stop talking. Let me talk. This is the worst day of my life. Okay, so at this time, Nick Jonas is dating Priyanka. Priyanka Chopra, lovely, very talented actress. And so Nick would have these fun activities with Priyanka, but want to introduce some of his friends to her. So, like, we went on a beautiful yacht ride over Memorial Day weekend. No, it was Glenn Powell, that whole crowd again.
You were on a yacht with Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah.
You on a yacht. It's just fantastic.
Are you making fun of me?
I'm not making fun of you. I think the idea of me on a yacht is absurd. I've never been on a yacht.
I mean, there's a great many things in my life that I'm like, this is crazy. The Mariah Carey video, getting eventually invited to Nick and Priyanka's wedding.
Okay, well, you jumped to that.
India.
So this is
India. India.
This is the thing I was trying to get you to some 40 minutes ago.
Oh, God.
It's his podcast. He's yammering on all this time, and then he gets mad when somebody else talks.
Oh, snap!
Wow, finally.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying it like it is.
Okay, so tell the story of you getting invited to a wedding in India. Not any wedding. Nick Jonas, Priyanka Chopra. This is amazing. No, but now I want to hear about the wedding.
Okay. So here's the thing.
This is a great story, but let's really get to the meat of it.
So I get invited to this wedding in India. Have I ever been to India? No. I don't even know.
Did you think it was Indiana at first? Be honest.
Can you leave the room?
Eduardo, let's cut his mic.
They've cut my mic.
Cut his vocal cords.
Okay, so you get invited. Go. I'm sorry. I swear to God, I'll shut up until we get through the wedding. Go.
So I was so honored. It was bonkers. I was like, yes, if you're being serious, yes. And so I had, a mutual friend help me figure out how to book that flight. Now, have you ever been to an Indian wedding?
I have not.
If you ever get invited to an Indian wedding, say yes.
Isn't it days long?
It's a week long and it's amazing.
Wow.
It's like there's so many different events and there's so many different wardrobe changes. Like it's bonkers and it is fun. And it's just beautiful and musical and like colors everywhere. It was really, really fantastic.
So you flew all the way to India.
I flew to India.
Which city?
Jaipur.
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 Sona and I have been to Jaipur.
We have.
It was beautiful and it was so fun and it was like nothing I had ever. It was like a royal wedding, I guess. I'd never been to one, but it was wild. And like I'm still friends with all of Priyanka's cousins, and you know I know all the North Carolina family on the Jonas side. It was fun.
Wow.
So
it was really great.
You were there for several days.
Yeah.
And you have to wear special costumes, right?
Yeah. And like within a day, you have to like change over and stuff.
Did you? Can I ask you a question? This is a little. Did you pay for the costumes?
Oh yeah.
You did.
Yes, sir.
Because I know that you are somewhat frugal.
Okay.
Is that fair to say?
I guess. Where's this going?
No, I just wondering if you thought it was
Did
an
I
imposition.
make homemade clothes for this?
If there's a way you... Do you know what I mean? You are a frugal man. When they said to you, you're going to have to buy 6 outfits and have them made for you, there was no hesitation at all?
No. And here's what else. I did flight there on with miles. And so I only paid $300 to get over there, like in business class.
Ooh.
I love that I whisper in front of them.
They can't.
You whispered into a microphone. No one can know.
Do they tell you what kind of clothes you'll need for each
Yes,
event?
they were very, very helpful for all of this. So they actually hooked us up with a company that specializes in the clothes that you'd wear for the certain ceremonies. And, you know, each one had different meanings, and it was like nothing else I had ever seen. And they made it very user-friendly and welcoming, and it was awesome. Now I have to call these people and say, hey, I talked about y'all's wedding.
Yeah.
out
Oh,
loud.
it's fine. You said only nice things. It's not like you
Well, I
said
know.
anything untoward. And,
Untoward.
well, I think he acquitted himself
Oh,
well.
I think it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
rave review. Yeah,
It's a rave review of
Sound
a
like
beautiful
wonderful
wedding.
people.
It was like nothing I had ever experienced before.
Hi, I'm Goldie Hawn, and I feel really excited about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
Well, that's really nice. That makes me happy. I'm going to tell you something. I have been such a huge fan of yours for so long. And all these years I did the late night show, you were one of the few people. I don't think you were on the show. It never lined up exactly. So I never got to meet you that way. And then when I came out to Los Angeles and I saw you, I was a little freaked out in a nice way. And your security team told me to stay away because they had read the letters. And but I think I saw you and Kurt at something. And I know it's not just me because I want to say about 2 years ago, because we live in the same neighborhood, I'm running. You know, I'm jogging because you don't just get a body like mine.
I was going to say, that means you can still see your belly button.
No, I haven't seen that thing in years. I'm not sure I even have one. But I'm running, and I'm running with a friend of mine who's out here, and he runs with tons of people. He's met everybody. I've never seen him get phased. This is my friend Jim Lubinsky. And we're running, and I hear someone say, hey! And I look over, and it's you, and you're walking with a friend. You're not too far from where we all live.
Mm-hmm.
And you stop, and you chat with me a little bit, and I introduce my friend Jim. And then we keep running. And he's like, fuck, that was Goldie Hawn. And I'm running, and I'm out of breath, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah, it's great. We're running for a bit. He's not saying anything. He goes, I mean, Jesus, that was Goldie Hawn. And I went, yeah. I mean, he meets everybody, but it was so nice. And I swear to God, we ran for like 45 minutes, and he kept revisiting it. And eventually I was like, I don't know what else to tell you. But yes, she's a real person who exists. But I'm just absolutely thrilled, and everyone here in the building is on crazy behavior today.
That's so great.
No, it's really nice. It's nice to see. They don't get that way about a lot of people. Erica Brown downstairs was like, Goldie Hawn's coming in today. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm here too.
No.
Doesn't care.
Nobody cares.
I'm not an icon, but thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And also, I have a thing that when I don't know people well, but I know their kids, I can tell a lot about them by the way their kids behave.
Mm-hmm.
and I know Kate and Wyatt. I know Kate pretty well, and I've got to know Wyatt a little bit. And they're both lovely people. And to me, I always go to that and then say, oh, there's some good parenting in here. They're very nice people.
They're really nice people.
And I've talked to them both, and I get the sense that you and Kurt, it was not, hey, we're in Beverly Hills, or, we're on the West Side and we're stars and you're the kids of stars. There was none of that shit going on.
No, none of it. Kurt and I are very similar in terms of that, because, whatever happens to your career, you just do the best you can. I mean, it wasn't about wanting to be anything except good at what we did. And we felt that it was our job, right? But when we came home from wherever, we're just a normal family. And I used to say to my dad, it was when I was more single, but I had the 2 kids, and we'd have coffee together in my house in the morning. He'd come over and we'd sit there. And I said, Daddy, I just want to have a normal life. And this was right after Private Benjamin.
Yeah.
And I just want to be normal. That's all I want, And he said, well, go, you're not normal. I said, wait a minute.
This is a good father.
This is not the answer I wanted, okay?
My father told me that when I was 4.
He was right.
Yeah. No, hey, we all know.
It was like, get with it. But it's really about the focus. And, when I met Kurt for the first time,
You guys met for the first time a long time earlier.
Yes.
You didn't go out or anything. You met on a project.
Well, I mean, we're talking about what happens. What is life? What are the things we don't understand?
Right.
Which is what I'm more interested in. Like what we can't see, the questions of kind of things of why did that happen? Are there coincidences? Are we on this wild grid somewhere that, this is our karma, this is our plan? We don't know. And I've got a million of those things that happened to me. And one of them was Kurt, because I was 21, I was a dancer, and I went to an open audition at Disney Studios to dance in a movie, right? And I thought, oh, this will be so fun. So I went there, and there was this woman sitting on a bench, and she was lovely, nice woman, blonde. And I went up to her because I was on Dopey Drive, but I didn't know where I was. I mean, I knew it was Dopey Drive. I was the dopey because I didn't know where I was going. So now I asked her, I said, do you know where the audition is, for this? And it was like stage something.
Yeah.
And she said, I'll take you there. So she took me there. And then, of course, we did the audition. And I'm auditioning to be in the chorus, basically. And so with that, it turned out to be that she went back home and she told everybody that basically I saw the girl who's going to get the part. The reason I know that is because that was Kurt's mother.
Oh.
So I met Kurt's mother before I met Kurt.
Right.
And so I got the part. And I'm trying to think, what part? Okay, I got the part. The other weird thing is that I got this part. Of course, I got the script. I looked through it. I had no lines. I was just the head dancer, right?
Right.
But you know what my name was? The Giggly Girl. And I swear, if anybody would have said that was where I was going to end up being known for,
yeah.
I mean, for me, it was just like weird. And then at that particular movie, which is a side story.
What's my motivation here as Giggly Girl?
Exactly.
What's my story and my art?
So Kurt and I actually danced together separately of the same show, which was like, it was a number we had to do, and it was the hornpipe and a thing, and skip to my thing, blah, blah, blah. And we both still remember part of the choreography, right? But I didn't really notice him, except he was a handsome young guy. He was 16, okay? And I'm 21, so that's just forget it. But then I went to the producer who asked me to come to his, after we finished, and he said, look, we have to do the billing. And he said, we can't really use your name, because Goldie sounds like a stripper. And I said, well, Goldie is my name. And not only that, it belonged to an amazing woman, and I'm honored to have it, and I will never change it. I was 21 years old talking to the head of like the Disney. And
Good for you, though. That's impressive.
But sometimes I still can't remember how bold I was.
Right.
But anyway, I said, if you want to bill me, my middle name is Jean. So why don't you bill me as Goldie Jean Hawn? And that might, make you feel happier. But I will never, in my mother's name and anything ever, change my name. Then I met him again.
Right.
Years ago.
Years later,
Oh.
you guys meet again, but everything's changed. Very different circumstances.
Yeah, and I was with some other guy. That was the one thing. We weren't doing well. But anyway.
You and the other guy weren't doing well.
So anyway, I was producing Swing Shift.
Mm-hmm.
And Swing Shift, is a film that I was producing for Warner Brothers. And I'm meeting all these guys. I met Kevin Costner and a few other guys that for the role of Lucky. And then Kurt came in. And I looked at him, and he looked like he'd been up all night long. I mean, he was also...
He may have been. Knowing Kurt a little bit, he may have been.
And I looked at him, I thought, what have you been? Well, he was going through a divorce, and he was with his dad, and they were drinking and whatever. So I learned about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that meeting was over, he didn't really want to read. He just came off Silkwood. And he didn't want to read, just wanted to meet me. So we ended up talking, and everybody that I knew ended up being one of our shared people that we loved. One was his brother-in-law, and another one was another guy, Jimmy Van Wyck. And they were all in the movie, okay? But it turns out that I met him at lunch, and I was very attracted to him. I had another, he was French boyfriend.
I like how everyone has very simple, you're giggly girl, then there's French boyfriend. No one's got a real name in any of your stories. There's that guy, and it wasn't going well with that guy.
Anyway, I'm just cutting to the chase. But anyway, so we went out to lunch at this one little restaurant in France, on Ventura Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat together. It was really great. And then when he left, because I was there with the producer and everything, he left, but he turned around. It was so romantic. He turned around and said across the room, it's okay if I don't get this part, but I sure would like to see you again.
Oh wow.
I
And in
know.
front of everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he's not shy.
No.
But that was really interesting. But what really caught me was that he came over to my place at the beach. I had my two little children there. I had Oliver and Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Katie was about 4,
Mm-hmm.
just going on, and Oliver was 6. He went over to the bedroom where they were sleeping, and he looked for a long time at Katie sleeping. And then he went over and he looked at Oliver. Long time. And I watched him and I thought, you're amazing. He is a family man.
Mm-hmm.
He, in depth, looked at them, stared at them, felt them. And then we went in the other room and we talked. And then we went to work. And when my children visited me on the set, I can't explain it, but he was the one for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't just because he was sexy and handsome and all those things you get turned on by. It was because he matched my devotion to children to be number one.
Yeah.
And that's where I watched him at the bar because we were playing, it was our location. And I had them in his lap and talking to them and so forth. So the seduction was really his personality and his focus on the children. And, I wrote in my diary when I actually was getting a divorce and alone with the children, I wrote in my diary, and I was crying, And I wrote, I wonder if I'll ever find someone that will love my children the way I do. And it happened. It happened. So the sticking glue of our relationship, because we don't agree on everything. His politics are different than mine. You know, there's all these things that could divide you. But the one thing that we have, the greatest thing in God's world, is our family. And that is where we thrive. It's where we have incredible amounts of joy. And really focus on that. And every child that we had is healthy. They're happy. And you know what I'm doing now with children? I want them to feel happiness, togetherness. I just went over to see my daughter-in-law. We just had a new grandchild.
Oh, congratulations. That's fantastic.
That's the 8th one. And it was great. But they all moved around us together. So Wyatt moved right on the street he was born on.
Yeah.
Katie lives on the same street now. I live up above, not 6 blocks away. Oliver's down the road, and Boston, who is my stepson, who is very much, I call my son. He's the greatest ever. He lives up the road. So yet today, I just was able to stop over to Wyatt's house and see my new grandchild and hold and do and be together. What can be better than that? Making a movie?
Yeah. I'm saying yes. I think a movie's better.
No.
Did I miss?
No,
did
the
I miss?
answer is no.
Did I miss
anything?
Did I miss the point of what Goldie's saying? Because you get money when you make the movie.
Oh boy.
Well,
I'm
that
sorry,
part-
but
listen.
am I the only one here who's saying make the movie?
No.
Get someone to get an agent can look after the kids.
Exactly.
There's so much to talk about in your film work, but I remember when you came on my late night program for Selma for your brilliant portrayal of Martin Luther King Jr. And I remember we were talking about it and then realizing later on that you had been kind of method when you did that role, meaning that you really wanted to inhabit, which you did so brilliantly. And I think there's no more difficult task if we're talking about you playing these Shakespearean figures. If you're playing someone from distant history, you can interpret, but when you're playing someone who lived concurrently with our times, died in 1968, and there's all this footage, you need to create your interpretation, but it also needs to ring true to all of us. And I thought you did that beautifully.
Thank you.
It was, you really felt like you had to inhabit him all the time and be in character. How long did you do that for?
It was 3 months of the shoot, and as you can tell, I have an English accent. We were shooting in Atlanta, and the worst thing about being an actor, especially playing that kind of role, is imposter syndrome. You go, well, I am not him, obviously,
right?
But you have all these people daily who you feel the need to convince you are him. But the worst thing you can do, I think, as an actor is to be playing that room in a sense, as opposed to the film, which is what people are ultimately going to see. So if I'm having to convince the crew, the extras, my fellow actors, moment to moment, that's too many things. It's already, the margins for error are already what they are. So the way to take that out of the equation, I think, is for people to, by and large, just go, oh, that's not Dr. King, but that's David's version of Dr. King moving around the set. So it's not and roll, camera, action, and it's like a switch. It's too much to kind of be constantly doing.
No, for you to be
at
the craft service table joking around with the crew,
right?
And then put down that pretzel and it's time to
right.
We're going to be Dr.
Right.
Martin Luther King now.
Yeah,
it seems like that would be impossible.
It's also, I had so many speeches, whether it be in a church, at a rally, or whatever, and there were people there because of the locations we were shooting who had been at marches with Dr. King, who had been in churches with Dr. King. I mean, John Lewis visited the set one day and decided to stay for one of my speeches. I was like, dude,
please don't.
That really doesn't help me at all. You're lovely and I love you. Please leave.
So anytime you do any gesture, I can just picture John Lewis. Nope. Wrong.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. He was lactose intolerant. Didn't like almonds either. Put the almonds down. It's too much.
It's literally too much. And so the way I oxidize that is to just kind of be in what I would call King light, where it's always there so that the extras aren't suddenly going, oh, look at that trick he's doing. You're trying to not act is the reality. And the best way to do that is to just be. And so if I'm being all the time, then hopefully that's what the camera's catching.
People don't realize that this is, for people in your life, friends, I would think, especially family.
Yeah.
If you're trying to maintain a certain persona or inhabit a character for 3 months, okay, that's one thing on the set, but what happens when you go home?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, particularly for my wife. At the time we were doing Selma, we had also just moved into a new home, and I remember her calling me to discuss curtain colors, and I literally went, "Well, I think the gray," and she went, "Okay, stop. I am not discussing curtains with Dr. King. I draw the line there. We will pick this up after the film. Thank you very much." The other awful thing is,
I have a dream of Venetian blinds.
I know. She was like, stop. Time out.
Did you ever ask her to call back as his wife?
I should have done that. I should have done that. No, but what also happened was I put on about 40 pounds to play Dr. King. And, he had, or I should say I had as him, what, can only be described as man boobs. And my wife was incredibly tolerant of this. I had, I wasn't in the shape I normally pride myself on being in. And the day that this thing wrapped, she came up to me, jiggled my man boobs, and said, "So what are we doing? What are we doing?" I was like, "Oh my Lord. Like, give me a second. I mean,
what are we doing here?
What are we doing? What are we doing with this?"
Speed bag.
Literally.
Come on.
Literally.
Oh, come on.
So yeah, but they would have been very good speed bags. But yeah, I was like, okay, I guess my grace period is over.
I will say this though for you, David. At least you had that excuse, because I step out of the shower and I can't say, no, I'm playing Orson Welles at the end of his life.
Right. Right.
Or my skin has been artificially freckled in a most horrifying way because I'm playing a striped bass in a movie. There's no way for me to go. It's like, I'm going to play Conan in the Conan story. There's no...
You're just stuck.
I'm stuck. There is nowhere else to go.
Well, anyway, David, you're here because we have a question that may be of interest to you. Hi, Mike and Jesse. What's the story behind the remote Conan trains his successor? How did David Hopping get picked for this segment? And more importantly, which writer was responsible for it? Anyway, I love the podcast. Lourdes.
Do you remember doing that remote, David?
I do.
Oh, good.
It's all gone. You were the writer for that, right?
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a happy ending.
But I'm glad
to
that
this
you're here
question.
because I don't remember a lot of it.
I don't remember how I got picked. I remember you telling me I was picked, but I don't know how I got picked.
Well, to be honest, I think I pitched it more broadly than that. I pitched it just as Conan training a successor.
Okay.
Like he was going to leave the empire to somebody and needed to have somebody that
So you
was
pitched.
going to take
it was
over.
your idea.
Yeah, it was
love
my idea.
That's great.
But I didn't say specifically who the person would be. And somehow in the writers' room, we talked, and you became the guy.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was just like we knew you were good already being on camera, and that you and Conan had kind of a funny rapport.
And you know what? This speaks very well of you, David, because if the writers together in a room are like zeroed in on you, that means, I think, don't you agree? Like in everyone's exposure to David, they're like, oh, you know what? He's a cool guy. He'd be good on camera.
For sure. Yeah. Because we knew that you weren't going to get too hammy, that you were going to kind
Right.
of be able to be yourself.
Oh, that's nice.
Throughout it. Yeah. And I think we just thought it was a funny, I don't know, that like, because you're so game for everything, you just kind of like say yes.
Yeah.
And so we knew Conan would enjoy telling you what to do.
Yeah.
And that you would probably say yes.
The whole thing was just to repeat after Conan.
Yeah.
We're going to go in and talk to the writers now. They're meeting. Okay. The way I usually do it is I kick open the door.
Okay.
And make a lot of kind of silly, over-the-top jokes about how horrible the writing's been lately, even when it's been good.
Okay. Hey! Your ideas are so bad.
Hey, turd skulls.
Hey,
Last
turd
time
skulls.
I saw shit piled up this high, I was in a barnyard.
Last time I saw shit piled up this high, I was in a barnyard.
I always leave the room on a huge laugh, so take care of that.
So long, you pieces of shit.
And you're very all-American. I mean, you're from Illinois.
Right.
Yeah.
The Carbondale area.
Carlinville.
God damn it.
Oh.
Isn't it near? Just tell me it's near
It's like
Carbondale.
3 hours away. I think maybe. It's so close. It's so
it's a
close.
different state.
It's so close to each other.
Well, anyway, I know nothing about you.
Well, and
but-
another writer worked on this too, Levi McDougall.
Yes.
And I just vaguely remember us filming that day. We had to put you in a Conan wig.
The wig, yeah.
So that was kind of, you had to go into like extensive hair and makeup.
So extensive. No, I remember going down and they just like, put like some glue and then just basically stuck it on.
Slapped it on. Okay.
They glued it. You got extra special. They went the distance with you. And can I ask you guys, what was Conan, while you were shooting it, was Conan like, was part of him like, oh, someone to replace me, eh? Or
I think he wasn't too threatened.
I
by
think I was
David.
so nervous the whole time that there was no threat.
Oh, you didn't seem nervous at all.
That's nice of you to say.
No, but seriously, I love hearing that.
Well, one thing I didn't remember, but when I was going back through old emails, there was actually, so the first segment went well. We basically got you dressed up and you did some monologue jokes and learned the string dance.
Yes.
Did you learn the nipple touch?
No.
No, okay.
No,
that's proprietary.
That one was too far, I guess.
Too advanced.
I wasn't prepared for that one.
But we were supposed to do a second installment of this.
Oh, yeah.
Where you were learning how to interview a celebrity.
Oh.
And we had reached out, and I know Paula Davis, our booker, had reached out to Mayim Bialik.
Oh, yeah.
And so you and Conan were going to interview her together.
I forgot about that.
I know. And then it never ended up happening.
I think one of the travel shows came up.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I think.
That's a shame.
That is
It's
a
just one of those
shame.
things that never got done.
Yeah. Just go back on TBS real quick. We'll just do it again.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep that in the can. If we ever come back, that's the first thing
We
I'm
have a
pitching.
surprise for you. Here's my Bialik!
So one thing that I can't believe when I look back on this was you weren't even Conan's assistant at that time. You were a PA on the show.
Yeah.
What was your title?
I was personal PA for Conan and Jeff.
Okay.
So I reported to Sona.
Okay, so you were Sona's assistant. Yeah. And so how much interaction had you actually had with Conan?
I had quite a bit. Like from
Okay.
day one, I remember Sona brought me in and wanted me to get to know Conan like right off the bat because I mean I was immediately like running his personal errands and stuff like that.
Yeah, cleaning his underwear.
Exactly. Just normal things that you go to college to learn.
Right away.
So you already kind of had a shtick with Conan. Was he
Yeah.
already making fun of you for things?
Oh,
yeah,
right
of course.
away. Yeah. Mhm.
What was his what was he getting you for? Like what was his
thing with you?
Thing with you,
I mean,
yeah.
being from a small town, I think is
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Midwest is like the number one
Okay.
thing. that is still stuck around.
Yeah. Oh, well, once it's locked in.
It's never leaving.
It's never leaving.
Oh my gosh, this is just making me remember. Was there something in like your hometown paper about this?
With front page?
Yes!
Oh my God.
Yeah, I still have it framed in my apartment.
That's fantastic.
Well, after this remote aired, that ran in your paper?
Yeah, they reached out and like did like an interview with me.
Oh,
they reached out. You didn't call them. Guys, do I have a scoop for you? Hometown boy makes good. So they reached out.
Sweet.
They reached out. They did like an interview. Conan and I took a picture and sent it to him, and yeah.
Wow. So people back home, you won essentially.
That day I did.
Yeah. Have you gone back for a high school reunion?
No, they did a 5-year reunion, but I missed it because I was here.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
'Cause it
And
was
then
yesterday.
the 10-year got canceled because of COVID. So
Oh, right.
15 will be my time.
Okay. Well, you're going to go back.
Don't feel you need to go to any high school reunions.
But if you've been Conan's successor.
Either way, either way, you're going to be like, no one will give you the satisfaction.
Okay, well, we disagree.
I want to hear about what happened at your high school reunion.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, sorry I brought it up.
Yeah, whatever you assume, it's true.
Oh.
No, it's fine.
I mean, in a weird way, though, you do. I mean, because now you are Conan's assistant and you know what he does almost better than anybody else. In a way, you really are most equipped to become his successor.
I guess so.
You know where all his wills are, probably.
I know. I mean, once I got the banking info, I knew I was in.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
That's
How did we
big.
get in?
We'll talk later.
Okay. Why talk later?
So his credit card number is.
Yes. We also need the expiration and the security number, of course.
And the billing zip code of, yeah.
The billing zip code,
Mhm.
yes.
It's very interesting because I don't know what your experience was, but I can't talk to many people about this. My experience was I was so glad I got to do it. I loved it, every second of it. Not every second, but I loved a lot of it. And then when it was over, there hasn't been a moment where I've thought, gee, I wish I could be doing that, a late night show again.
Exactly the same.
Because I think I get one life. There's so much to try. There's so much to do. Did that. And so how do you feel?
Exactly the same. I haven't. The only thing I miss really is being part of a gang, like going and sitting with sitting with people who I am every day would be blown away by how funny they are. I just could not, like, that's what I really miss. Sitting with Ian and Lauren and Cece and Sean and they, like, I just sitting with these people.
That was your mistake. You had funny writers.
My God, did I ever?
I only hired absolute terrible people.
The worst.
Right, Sona? The
They
worst.
were awful.
Yeah.
And
so
many of them are in this building.
Oh, they're still
listening.
here. They're still. Oh, yeah, yeah. But they're not smart enough to figure out how to get into this room.
Okay.
So I'm safe. No, but I know what you mean.
I miss that. I miss the idea of having like an idea in the morning and being like, yeah, let's do it tonight. Like, I remember that, that's what I miss. I certainly don't miss walking out of a curtain and being like, let's have a look and see who's on the show tonight. I don't miss going, stick around, we'll be right back. I don't miss any of the actual doing of the show. I would go so far as to say I haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
The thing I think about is
the people.
Yeah, like I remember the day after the Oscars when the Will Smith Chris Rock thing happened. Like, this was a sort of real example of how our show used to work, where it was like, okay, everybody's going to be talking about that. Everybody's going to be talking about that moment. What's our show's version of that? How do we do that? And it's ticking down. It's now midday, and you're like, okay, we tape at 5. Okay, we're probably just going to do some jokes about it, and we haven't come up with a good idea. And then, one of our writers goes, I think it was Molly who worked on the show, just goes, I've got this written down. I don't have any more than this, but we don't talk about Jada because we don't talk about Bruno was the big song of that year. We don't talk about Jada, and everyone goes, oh, that's it. Okay, great. So now we need to write the song. So Molly, why don't you go with Dave and with Lawrence? And then, probably need dancers, but hang on, we need dancers who've been COVID tested. And then someone's like, we've just found out there's a Steadicam operator in the building doing a thing for, I don't know, whether it was like Dancing with the Stars or whatever. He's COVID tested. He can be here at 6, but we'll have to tape it after. Okay, that's probably a positive. And then it's like, are we going to sing it live? And then that's the thing.
That's the stuff.
And then you're kind of feeding it almost live down the line to be on the East Coast at 9:30 because an idea that happened at midday. And then you get the thrill of the next day. X amount of million people have watched it on YouTube and you go, that was great. And then the absolute horror of going, oh, fuck, what are we going to do tonight?
Yeah. Did anyone slap anyone last night? I love that. I completely understand. I absolutely loved working with talented, funny people and having the gang aspect of it. And oh, damn it, we just thought of this. We got to throw it together. But the other thing I've missed, and I've mentioned this a couple of times recently, but having a live band as a regular part of my life gave me so much joy. And I realized that it's not so much the show that I miss anymore, but if I could get my band to play when I come down in the morning to get my coffee, and then it's like, well, breakfast was great. We'll take a break. I just loved the power of that. And also being around so much live music all those years.
We've just missed your birthday, right?
Yeah.
I think this is what I would say to the team here. It's unlikely that I'll be here, but I would say for Conan's birthday next year, you should get him a band from
sounds like
when he wakes up in the morning. No, but if you have it from when he won't miss it if
How
they're
about
in
a card.
All right, I'll do it. It's fine.
James,
I thought this was a different environment.
James, this is what
you
we're working.
really do need a friend.
That's why I'm not fucking around with the title of that. I need a friend because this is what I get. A card. And guess what? It won't even be, it will be like a congratulations on your bris card. It won't even be for my birthday.
Yeah, it'll be one we find
You'll
in a
just
drawer.
grabbed it.
Yeah.
But that's fascinating to me that there are little elements you can miss. But I think when it's time to like let's go and do the next thing.
I knew for quite a while. I was gonna leave at year 5. I was real close. Like I genuinely had like one foot out the door, and then I'm very, very pleased that I chose to stay, because I think then, if I'd left then, I think it would have been way too soon, and I would have thought, what did you leave for? You were just reaping the rewards of it being good, getting good guests, all that stuff.
Yep.
But I really felt like so many things changed from when we started the show. It was like Obama was the president.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was then it was Trump, and then it felt like it changed. And somehow, if you didn't do a deeply political monologue, you were somehow complicit with the Trump organization,
right? Which
I didn't quite understand, not being from here. And then it was COVID. So then, like, you're doing a show in your garage, and you're like, well, you're just trying to keep as many of the team in work as you can, and trying to find, jobs and everything for people and stuff like that. And so I was like, it's time to go now. It's time to move away from this. And again, I will always be dumbfounded that it was something I was able to do. That it was something I was even given the opportunity to do. I thought it was a stupid thing to give me the job, or mystifying to give me the job. A year in, I was like, this was so stupid. Just some guy from a play. Like, I didn't do a pilot. I didn't do a test. It was just nuts. I had some days where I thought, I think they've hired me to end the franchise.
Well, what I went through, which I do not believe you experienced, was a year into my gig, I could read in the paper, it was a big mistake to give this guy the job.
signed Conan's dad. That's the twist ending. But it was but like I say, you can always remake your own reality if you just, like I say, put your stamp on it.
Well, I think I was so certain that it wasn't going to work. I was so I was going to work harder than I'd ever worked hard. I was going to do everything I could to make it a success. But I was saying to my wife, like, we will be home within a year.
Yeah.
Like, we rented furniture.
Yeah.
Like, all of our furniture in our first rental, which me and Conan used to live on the same road.
You lived right up the street from me, and we realized that. So you came over to my house because I was not going to sit on rental furniture.
Correct. Well, I would have been embarrassed if you.
I was a real prick about it. I said, "You said please come in," and I said, "If that looks like rental furniture, I will not come in."
Correct. Well, then you were right, because I would drive past your house, and it was only when I was driving past your house and I had to fill up with gas halfway through the hedgeways of your road. I was like, "Wow, this is quite the property."
I bought 7 homes. And I had them all stitched together.
Yeah.
And it's hideous, but it was pure ego. Just pure ego. But
it's a beautiful. I always used to enjoy because I used to drive past you, and you would be your kids would be getting on the bus to go to school, and I'd be driving mine down to school because they were like they didn't get on the bus because it was they were much younger, and I'd always enjoy. Sometimes we'd wave, and sometimes you wouldn't see me, and I would really, I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
I would say this happened about 6 or 7 times. If you are lucky enough to watch Conan O'Brien hugging his kids and putting them on a bus, you're like, oh man, that's some real dad goals. Because my kids were.
Here's the problem: those weren't my kids.
Oh God.
Yeah, and it ended badly.
That really.
That's such a nice thing.
Why?
Why did I do that?
No, you really.
That was such a nice thing, and I don't know why I did that.
No, I used to look and I used to think, oh, that is. Genuinely, I know this sounds so silly. I mean it. I used to look and think, oh, that's it. If you can keep a relationship with your kids that long that they want to hug you on a bus before they get on the bus, it's like
true.
That's a great thing, And I'd look at my kid and go, why can't you be like that? No.
Your kid's in the back seat smoking a cigarette.
No, then I'd realize.
Move on, Dad.
Then I'd realize I'd forgotten the kids. And be like, no.
Yeah. So, okay, it's funny too, because I read an interview where you, I believe you mentioned this David Bowie quote that really resonated with you.
Yeah.
And I'm such a Bowie fan, and because I was lucky enough to be doing my show back when we were able to have him on.
Oh, man.
And do a bit with him. And he was on a couple of times, and he was such a nice man.
Yeah.
Such a lovely man to me, to the point that once I was in some club watching a show and someone tapped me on the shoulder, and it was David Bowie. And he was with Iman, and he was just like, hey, he saw me and he came over and just wanted to say hi. And I thought, he's such a gentleman, such a lovely man.
Have you seen the film? Have you seen Moonage Daydream?
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean,
such a lovely man.
I never met David Bowie, but I felt like I was catching up with an old friend when I watched that film. It's like,
So what is it he said that spoke to you when you were thinking of moving on?
I mean, I would honestly watch this clip like sometimes multiple times a day, because I was really walking away from a contract offer that I was pretty certain I'm never going to earn money like that again. I'm pretty certain that won't come my way again. And he says in this clip, he says you should never try and fulfill other people's expectations. Never try and fulfill other people's expectations. And then he says, and I go so far as to say, if you're comfortable in the area that you're working in the wrong area. And if you should always swim a little further out.
Yep.
So the water's at your chin and your feet are just scraping the bottom. And if you feel slightly scared and you feel out of control in it, you're probably in about the right place to do something very interesting. And I just used to watch it all the time and go, no, I am too comfortable here. I think if I stay, it's not that I'd be miserable. I didn't think that in any way. I was very happy doing it. I loved doing it. I loved doing all the people that I was working with. But I was like, if this can't be the last thing I do.
No.
It can't be. I have to go and see I have to go a little further into the water. I have to go a little further into the woods and see what else is there, safe in the knowledge that it might be nothing, safe in the knowledge that it might never ever be as big as this again, or as acclaimed or talked about in any of those things. But I'm about to do a play at the Old Vic in London for 8 weeks. I've never in my life felt more scared than what I'm about to do.
Have you played the Old Vic before?
I've never played at the Old Vic, but it's because it's a really, really serious play. It's a really serious, called The Constituent.
Yep.
And I've never been more. When I say I've never been more scared, what I mean is I have woken up in the night, I think for the last 2 weeks, terrified by the notion that I will forget the words, because I've just never ever done anything like this before.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the reason to do it.
Yeah, but it's again, it's to be able to say, I
ruined the Old Vic. Yeah,
I was the last person to play the Old Vic.
Shut it down.
Aren't you the one? That's me.
That's me.
Hey, let's do a voicemail. What do you guys say?
Okay.
No, I don't want to.
Okay,
Bye.
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
Hey, let's do a show. We'll do it in the backyard. We'll raise enough money to save the town. Yes, I would like to do a voicemail. I like to hear, like any king, sometimes I like to remove my crown and walk amongst the people.
Okay,
find out
here we
what they're
go.
really saying.
Hi, my name's Ben. I'm from Ohio. And my question is, it's a little morbid, but there's this new technology or an app where you can scan QR codes on someone's gravestone, and it'll show a glimpse of their life or flashbacks or videos of them or their legacy. So what would your QR code show people once they've scanned it? And while we're at it, what would Jordan Schlansky's look like? Thank you.
Wow, I got to say, Ben, that is a very imaginative question. And I don't find that morbid at all, because I'm a morbid person. I spend maybe half my day thinking about my own death, and making elaborate plans and rituals. I love that idea. I do think, I've thought about this, that gravestones are going to have screens. They're basically just going to be screens that, and everyone's going to download all the pictures and video from their lives, so that when you're walking around in a graveyard, you're actually walking through all these screens and you can look at what that person experienced in their lifetime, their travels, the food they ate. Yes, occasionally a dick pic, but
all right.
Yours is just going to be there airing Samsung TV of all the reruns of your old show.
There won't be traditional gravestones in the future. They'll all be Samsung televisions that, have like a grave shape, and they'll just be wedged in the ground. And people will go to graveyards to really be entertained by what people did in a previous life. And the ultimate weirdness is going to be people shooting themselves who are alive, people taping themselves watching other people's gravestones. So they're spending their lifetime watching a dead person's lifetime.
Right.
Do you see what's going to happen?
Will that show up on their grave TV when they die?
Yes. And then the snake eats its tail, and civilization just becomes inverted, and eventually it disappears. It's a mind blower. But Ben, I'm glad you brought this up, because it's quite clear what my QR code is going to be. It's going to lead you to all my greatest hits, everything from my television career. And there's also going to be commercials so that it's monetized.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So what do you mean, oh no? That's perfect, because a grave needs upkeep. My grave will be very heavily visited. I mean, look at how many people go see Elvis. So we're going to need security, upkeep. one of those red velvet ropes. There's going to be concessions. So yes, I'm going to probably do a lot of tie-ins. I'm going to make a lot of deals before I go, and there will be commercials, and that's going to help pay to keep the giant mausoleum looking good.
This very segment could be airing on your gravestone. Do you want to say anything to people that when they hear this right now in their time, will be listening to you at your graveyard?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Matt. Well, I want to say hello. I had a good life. Not crazy about the way I checked out. I still think it was someone in my family who did me in.
Right. For sure.
I mean, breaks just don't fail like that. They were pretty clearly cut, and I don't know why the DA didn't investigate. But I'm gone. Let's deal with it. And but please really look into my wife. I think she was responsible. I
have a question.
Yeah.
Can I please be put in charge of putting the QR code on there? Because I really just wanted to go to the menu for the Cheesecake Factory. I want you to put all this work into getting your QR code right.
Right.
When people go there, it's just to a menu for a restaurant.
I have a comment.
But quite a menu. I mean, the Cheesecake Factory has, that's quite a menu. So
yeah.
There's part of me that's almost okay with that, Sona.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Matt, you have a question.
I have a comment to those people who are currently visiting Conan's grave right now. Sona and I are trapped in here. Can you please get us out? Help.
No, because like any pharaoh, I wanted to be buried along with my troops
servants
and my
who
servants.
Were killed when you died.
No, you weren't killed. You were buried alive with me.
No, that's
Yes.
my biggest fear. I won't
it really?
do that. Yes, being
you won't do that?
I won't listen. If it wasn't my biggest fear, I'd be fine with it.
Okay, that's your deal breaker.
But I don't want to. I would rather not be buried alive. It really is. I have like
That's your greatest fear?
It.
What about
Yeah.
you check into a hotel and the bar is closed?
Okay.
Because I've seen you when that happens, and you start throwing shit around the lobby. It's pretty intense. No, you were buried with me and you willingly went. You're my loyal servants, and everything I'm going to need in the afterlife, which includes Matt, you, Sona, and some recording equipment, and a lot of cheese popcorn that doesn't go stale. It's hermetically sealed. That's all we need in the afterlife.
We're going to be podcasting from the afterlife. This is hell.
I know.
It's not hell. It's heaven. It's heaven.
I'm busy.
Anyway, and think about all the guests we'll get in the afterlife. Why, here comes Abe Lincoln and Gandhi. And look, they're with Dean Martin. Come on over, fellas.
They're doing a joint interview?
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's fantastic. We're going to get the best podcast guests in the afterlife. That's where all the great people are. So I'm glad we had this talk, and I'm glad we answered this question. Ben, I'm going to get to work right away on putting this QR code on my gravestone. I hope we don't need it for many, many years.
Cheesecake Factory.
But that's up to my wife and her plan to get me out of the picture. Anyway, we'll put a QR code on it, and it will link to all my greatest hits, plus every 20 minutes, the menu for the Cheesecake Factory.